Vasudevasutam devam Kamsachanooramardhanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum Namostute Vyasa Vishala Buddhe Pulara Vindaya Tapatra Netra Jnatvya Bharata Taila Purna Prajvalito Jnanamaya Pradipaha Namo Namaha. Good afternoon, good morning from wherever you are joining. We have last week we completed we can't say completed. We went through the 5th chapter of Bhagavad Gita in 11 hours. It took 11 sessions to complete, 11 hours to ponder upon the 5th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. The first chapter of Bhagavad Gita, it was Arjuna was confused in a confused state. Whether he was confused about knowledge and what is knowledge, what is ignorance, he was confused in the first chapter. He could not differentiate between the knowledge and ignorance. In the second chapter, Lord Shri Krishna enlightened him, asked him to come to the center. If you asked Arjuna to come to center so that he can understand the difference between what is knowledge and ignorance. He talked about Sthita Prajna. Sthita Prajnasya ka bhasha. Come to the center. Then only Shri Krishna said he would be able to understand what is knowledge and ignorance. In the third chapter, Shri Krishna talks about karma yoga. What karma yoga means, he elaboratedly expounded on karma yoga. The karma yoga Shri Krishna further explains in the fourth chapter. Fourth chapter is called as jnana karma sannyasa yoga. Shri Krishna added another component called as sannyasa. Along with karma, along with the jnana, vairagya should be there. In the 5th chapter, Shri Krishna, he talked about sannyasa yoga. Unless you can withdraw from irrelevant things, you cannot do the selfless action. Shri Krishna talked about the sannyasa yoga. In Bhagavad Gita, out of 18 chapters of Bhagavad Gita, they are divided into 3 sections. 3 sections, 6 chapter each. 6 chapter divided into 3, and Shri Krishna, the commentators, they equate that one to the famous verse from the Upanishad also. The 3 sections are called as tat, tvam, asi. They relate that one to 3 letters of the Upanishad, Chandogya Upanishad, tat, tvam, asi. The tat means that you have to know that. You have to know that part, tat, is called as the knowledge, jnana yoga. You need to have a jnana yoga, understand jnana. Without that, you won't understand the jnana. Tat. Tvam, to know that one, nobody will do it for you. Tvam, you have to do. You have to do it yourself. You have to do the karma yoga. Tvam, it's relating to the karma yoga. You need to have a karma yoga. Without karma yoga, you cannot get the jnana. And asi means you have to abide. Abiding part follow, abide by that one, you need bhakti. Jnana, karma and bhakti, they go hand in hand. The first 6 chapter, Shri Krishna, he touches upon all 3 sections all through, but first 6 chapter, Shri Krishna emphasizes on the tvam part. You have to be prepared. You have to act. Karma yoga. The second 6th chapter, Shri Krishna, from 6 to 12, Shri Krishna focuses on mainly Bhakti Yoga. In the last 6th chapter, Shri Krishna mainly touches upon, though all sections have all 3 components, but the focus is Jnana Yoga. Karma, Bhakti and Jnana, all 3 have to go through together. This is the message from the Upanishad Chandogya. Many commentators, they talk about Tattvamasi to these 3 sections. These 3 sections, they relate. And in Mahabharata, the knowledge part is not as obvious as we think, but many people, they say, everything what is there we have to do, everything God is doing. If something happens, it is God's wish. People brush it under the, swipe it under the carpet. Whatever happens, what to do, it is God's will. And in the Sabha Parva, and in the 3rd chapter, in the 3rd section of Mahabharata, Vana Parva, when Pandavas were shunted to the forest for 12 years in exile and 1 year in incognito, they got Akshaya Patra also. I talked about that one in the previous class. They got the Akshaya Patra, and Yudhishthira, he started living very comfortable life. He thought, there is no scarcity in the forest. This life also is good. This, in the forest life, it's a very comfortable life. Meal is not a problem, and everything, whatever we want, how many courses of meal we want, we are getting that one. And he became complacent and became comfortable in the forest life. Then Draupadi, once he was in this he was in a comfortable zone. Draupadi went to him and he said, I see two things. I see 2 things are extremely strange. I see 2 things are extremely strange, and I am perplexed about them. Yudhishthira asked, what are they? Draupadi said, first, in the Sabha Parva, when I was mistreated in the assembly, when they tried to disrobe me in front of the elders and the family, Dhritarashtra and Duryodhana's parents and elders in the assembly, when they tried to disrobe, Duryodhana, even after that, did not have inch of remorse in his face. That perplexes me. And Yudhishthira asked, what was the second one? She said, after being shunted, after being, they cheated you in the game of dice and they shunted you to the forest, you are without any care. You are leading a life as if nothing had happened. These 2 things makes me wonder and perplexed. I am really, these 2 are the great wonders I have observed. And Yudhishthira said, since Draupadi pointed straight at Yudhishthira, he got irritated, and he said, everything in this world happens according to our karma and according to the will of the God. What we have to do? We don't complain. We have to abide by it is our karma and it is our will of the Lord. And Draupadi, when she challenged that one, Yudhishthira became irritated and raised his voice. And don't question the Lord. He is omnipotent. Don't question the power of the Lord. He is omnipotent. You have to obey His will. He raised his voice. And he lost his cool himself. He was saying that you should have a kshama. Kshama, you have to pardon. Pardon the mistakes of others. Pardon the mistake of others, and you have to abide by the will of the Lord. Draupadi said, kshama, forgiveness, you have to forgive one who has a remorse. One who do not have a remorse. If a king is pardoning everyone, all the robbers, terrorists, if the king keep on pardoning them, the country becomes unlivable place. That is not called as ahimsa. That is not called a kshama. She argued further. Then Yudhishthira lost his cool. And when he lost his cool, Bhimasena stepped in. Yudhishthira was very scared of Bhima because he was physically strong and his knowledge part is a knowledge. In his presence of his knowledge, Yudhishthira's knowledge was very small. Bhima said the kshama is the, you have to do the kshama for one is a deserving person. You are confused between the knowledge and ignorance. You being a king, you are talking like a recluse. You are talking like a sannyasi. You want to withdraw and remain. This is not the being a king. You have to abide by your dharma. Your dharma is not to close your eyes to all the mistakes. Like he did not talk about that one Arjuna wanted to do in Bhagavad Gita in the first chapter. You are talking like a recluse, running away. You being a king, you have to follow your dharma. And after that, Bhimasena, he gave what is called as Bhima Geeta. In the Bhishma Parva, Sri Krishna gives Sri Krishna Geeta. Here in the Vana Parva, it is Bhima Geeta. He talked about to have anything to happen in the life, you need 5 things. One is the adhisthana. You need a platform. Body, you should have a body. The second, you need to have kartrutva. You need to have a soul in the body, not just the dead body. You need to have a soul. The third one, you need to have what is called as karana, senses. You need to have able senses. Fourth one, kartrutva, you need to do things. The fifth one is called as Daiva, the Supreme Lord. Though everything in this, all 5 components are needed to have things happen. Though 95% is the grace of the Lord, you have to put your own effort. Without that one, if you are not doing anything, then even God cannot do anything. You have to do your best. Without doing, don't expect, don't say it is God's wish. You have been shunted to the forest 12 years. Now on, the moment you are shunted, you should be thinking about how I can get my kingdom back. not to spend your days in idling. You have to think, happened, now future course of action, you have to think about that one. And Bhima said, things to happen, one is you should be qualified. Yes, you are qualified, you are a king. The second one, you need God's grace. Yes, God's grace at the center. The third one, you should put in your effort. You may be qualified, you may have a God's grace, but if you do not put your effort, things won't happen. You may not be qualified, you may be struggling hard, you may have a God's grace. If you are not qualified, it won't happen. If I am applying for medicine, I have done arts major, I am not qualified. I am not at all qualified, though I am a rank student in arts, I am not qualified. You should be qualified first. Then God's grace at the center. To get qualified, you need God's grace, and to put effort, you need God's grace. When these three come in line, then things will succeed. Bhishma chided Yudhishthira, don't say that it's God's will, you are shunted to the forest and you are comfortable here. Don't blame the God and spend your days. Whatever happens, it's a human effort also is important. Without human effort, you cannot progress. God's grace won't be there if you are not putting effort. You do your best, throw your heart behind, then God will give a result in appropriate time according to your qualification, according to your whether you are qualified or not, according to your swabhava, Lord will give the blessing. And Bhimasena woke him up. So, in the 5th chapter, we touched upon Sannyasa Yoga, and many people, they thought sannyasa means running away. Arjuna also had the same doubt, and many people in the world also, they are talking about what to do, it's God's wish, what to do, I did not get, what to do, God's wish. God's wish, if it is only the God's wish, then where is the self-effort? Every whole world will become dull, go into tamasic. I don't want to. If God wants, He will make me to do. And don't put the blame on the God. In the 2nd chapter and 3rd chapter in Karma Yoga, Sri Krishna says, your effort is required. Put your effort. Throw your heart. Like great kings like Janaka and others have done, you have to do Kuru karmaiva tasmatvam purvairapi mumukshibihi. Like previously, great people have achieved great things, they threw their heart behind that one. You also must do that way. And in the 4th chapter, he added another component, and Sri Krishna, Jnana Karma Sannyasa Yoga. Sri Krishna, it's talked about how to sit, how to do the pranayama, and he, in the 4th chapter, he talks about, he appears time to time whenever there is an imbalance. Yada yada hi dharmasya Glanir-bhavati bharata abhyuttanam adharmasya tadatmanam srijamyam. Shri Krishna says, whenever there is yoga goes out of balance, yoga means balance, when there is wherever the imbalance is there, he appears time to time. Paritranaya sadhunam, to look after. Good people are very devoted, are dear to the Lord. Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkritam dharma samsthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. The devotees are extremely dear to him. In the Bhagavatam also, Shri Krishna says, to protect the devotees, I am happy to chop off my own hands. The devotees are extremely dear to me. to look after them, Shri Krishna says not to despair. I will come time to time to protect the devotees. Patience is required. In the 5th chapter, Shri Krishna talks about the sannyasa, withdrawing, running away, what Bhima also mentioned in the Vanaparva. Yudhishthira wanted only to sit idle, and Bhima said, you have to act also. The sannyasa yoga and the karma yoga must go hand in hand. They are like two sides of the coin. They are like two sides of the coin. In the last section, last sloka of the 5th chapter, Shri Krishna talks about bhoktaram yajnatapasam sarvaloka maheshwaram suhridam sarvabhutanam jnatva mam shanti mrichati. Shri Krishna talks about bhoktaram yajnatapasa, whatever enjoying, whatever you are enjoying, bhoktaram, whatever yajna or pujas you are doing, offering you are doing, prayers you are doing, austerities you doing, ultimate enjoyer is the Lord. You may think you are the enjoyer. Shri Krishna says, you are not the enjoyer. Shri Krishna says, I am the enjoyer. Sarva loka. I am, Shri Krishna says, bhoktaram yajnatapasam sarva loka maheshwaram sahridam sarva bhutanam. I am the Lord of the whole universe. Where I am residing, what is my relationship with the created being and me? I am there in everyone's heart. I am there in everyone's heart. I am the closest to everyone. Not your closest friend, not your family members, not your boss. Shri Krishna says, I am the closest to everyone. I reside in everyone's heart. Yajnatapasam, one who realizes that the Lord is my closest friend. Only friend who is with me at all places, in all places, at all times. Shri Krishna says, one who realizes attains the peace. He concluded that one with Shanti. So, in the 6th chapter, which we covered previously, last year we covered, I will quickly go through that one. Shri Krishna says in the 6th chapter, Shanti, and again he picks up the idea from the 5th chapter, the sannyasa and karma yoga. In the opening shloka, Shri Krishna talks about anashrita karma palam. Karyam karma karoti yasannyasi sa-sannyasi cha yogi cha na niragni na chakriyah. Anashrita karma palam, selfless action. One who does the action selflessly, not hankering after the results. Karma palam sa-sannyasi. That person is really a sannyasi. In the earlier chapter, withdrawal and selfless action, it talks about. Here, Shri Krishna says, one who is doing the selfless action alone is a sannyasi. Selfless action, sa-sannyasi, not only sannyasi, yogi, sa-yogi cha, na niragni, na chakriyah, not the one who wants to run away, like Yudhishthira wanted to lead the idle life, or Arjuna wanted to do. Not that one. One who is doing the selfless action is verily a sannyasi, verily a yogi. Not the one who changes the color of the cloth. And Shri Krishna, further he talked about in the shloka, uddhareratmanatmanam, in the 5th shloka, uddhareratmanatmanam. Atmanam avasadayet. Atmaiva atmano bandhuhu. Atmaiva ripuratmanah. Shri Krishna says, the meditation, you can't do the selfless action unless you meditate. You should know what to do. Unless you contemplate, unless you invest time for yourself, you would not know what to do, what not to do. And for that, meditation a must. You have to give a prime time for yourself. You have to uplift the game of yourself by your own effort. Nobody is there to uplift you. No parent can do it for you. No husband or no wife, no friends can uplift you. You have to take ownership. Uddhare atmanatmanam. Other people can tell you once, twice. Nobody has time. Nobody has time. You uplift yourself by your own effort. Atmanatmanam, atmanam avasadayet. Never let the mind to go down. Atmaiva atmano bandhuhu, atmaiva ripuratmanah. If you let the mind go down, it will turn out to be your own enemy. Never allow your mind to collapse. Other day, someone called me up saying that she is feeling void in her life, empty in her life, and lost the purpose of life. Because that emptiness, people go through that one. If I keep on saying, I am empty in my life, I feel vacant in my life, I lost the purpose in life, Shri Krishna says, not to say that one. Uplift yourself. Mind alone is your friend and uplift. And if you do not make your mind your friend, it will turn out to be your enemy and it will act against you. It will drag you into depression. Shri Krishna says meditation requirement is the bubbling with energy, positive mind. Then only you can do the meditation. And Shri Krishna in the 17th chapter says, in the meditation, yukta-ahara viharasya, yukta-cheshtasya karmasu, yukta-swapna avabodhasya, yogo bhavati dukkha. Shri Krishna says, don't take your life casual. Lead a mindful life. Be mindful of what you are eating. Not just go for everyone, people call you for meal, just because they called for a meal, you are going. Be mindful of what you are eating. Yukta ahara, right food, what is agreeing to your body. Not going by the taste bud, what is agreeable to your body. Yukta ahara, your friend circle, be mindful of your friends. Make your friends only positive people. Yukta cheshtasya, should know what to do, what not to do. When you start meditating, you know what to do, what not to do. Yukta cheshtasya karmasu. Tomorrow I will touch upon in the class. The people, they say, I enjoy doing this one. I want to do cheshta. You should know how long this one, I like this one. How long is this enjoyment will take? Will this, whatever I am doing, I am getting a thrill in doing this one. Will this be of value in my last minute of my life? If it is of value even in the last minute of your life, yes, in the scripture says, yes, pursue that one. If it is limited utility and it is only for giving me a thrill for 1 year, 2 years, 5 years, it is not having a lasting effect. And after 5 years, I invested so much of time and energy, I have drained out. And so after that, it is not of use for my life. Shri Krishna says, Yukta cheshtasya. Be aware of what you are doing. You are throwing, your life is precious. Investing your time, yukta chestasya karmasu, yukta swapna, be aware what to not to do, what you are turning your attention to, when to sleep, when to get up. For that person, yoga becomes a dispeller of grief. The practice of yoga becomes a dispeller of grief. And Shri Krishna compares the mind of a yogi like a flame in a lamp where there is no breeze. Yatadipo nivatasto nengate sopama smrita yogino yathachittasya yunjato yoga atmanaham. Yogi's mind is, there is a clarity in thinking. There is no fickleness. There is clarity in thinking like a flame. Flame is not moving here and there, getting blown off. There is very steady flame. Yatha dipo nivatasto. There is no breeze. There is no, it's a clarity in thinking for a meditator. Get a clarity in thinking by investing time on yourself. And Sri Krishna, he talks about, Arjuna says, what you are talking about meditation, it is difficult to practice. It is like holding the air. Sri Krishna says, Shri bhagavan uvacha, asanshayam mahabaho, mano durnigraham chalam, abhyasena tu kaunteya, vairagyena cha grihyate. Shri Krishna says, yes, meditation is hard, but abhyasena. I taught this sloka to the children's yoga teachers training. I am doing the teachers training for the kids. I talked about this one. I asked them to remember this one. I compared this sloka with the Patanjali Yoga Sutra. Abhyasa vairagyam tannirodha. The Patanjali Yoga Sutra, I equated that one to this and I asked them to memorize this one. Yes, through practice, constant practice. Meditation is not a one-day affair. Meditation is not a one-term affair, lifelong commitment. Abhyasa and vairagya, it must go together. You should know what to retreat from unnecessary thing and what you are engaged in. When through that one, you can do the meditation. And Sri Krishna talks about in the meditation also, and how to sit, your place of meditation, how it should be. Shuchodeshe pratistapya stiram asana atmanah natyuchritam nati nicham chailajina kushottaram. Shri Krishna says, your place of meditation must be pure. Shuchodeshe, you establish in a pure place. Not only the physical purity and the surroundings also. Your think pure. And Sri Krishna, he talks about stiram asana atmanah. Learn to sit. Learn to sit firm and still. Not to be like an elephant moving here and there, wagging its tail or moving its ears all the time, and learn to sit steady. Then only, when you learn to sit steady, then only you can calm your mind. Your asana is important. The prerequisite for meditation is asana. And towards the end, Sri Krishna, he talks about the tapasvibhyo adhiko yogi, jnanibhyopi matodikaha, karmibhyascha adhiko yogi, tasmat yogi bhavarjuna. Sri Krishna says, Tasmat, therefore, yogi bhavarjuna, you become an yogi. Yogi means engage yourself. In the beginning, Shri Krishna says, in the first sloka, he talked about sa-sannyasi cha yogi cha anashrita karma palam karyam karma karoti yaha sa-sannyasi cha yogi cha. You become a yogi. Shri Krishna says, one who is engaging oneself in the selfless action is far higher than one who is just doing the austerity, always doing the austerity. Tapasvibhyo adhiko yogi. The one who is doing the selfless action is higher than that one. Jnanibhyopi, one who has only the theoretical knowledge, doesn't know how to apply that one. Maybe a quotation, can quote from any text, any book, and higher than that one is the yogi. Karmibhyascha, one who is morning till evening busy doing working and toiling, is higher than that one. Karmibhyascha adhiko yogi. Shri Krishna says, become an yogi. Become an yogi through anashrita karma palam. You engage yourself. Engage yourself through this one. Yoginam api sarvesham.
Yoginam api sarvesham.
Madgate antaratmana.
Madgate nantaratmana.
Shraddhavan bhajate yomam.
Shraddhavan bhajate yomam.
Same yuktatamo mataha.
Same yuktatamo mataha.
Among all yogis, the selfless action. Shri Krishna says selfless action is better. Among people doing the selfless action, many people may be doing selfless action. Shri Krishna says, amongst them, whoever doing the selfless action, yoginam api sarvesham madgate antaratmanaha, one who is dedicating all actions towards me. Madgate antaratmanaha. Bhajate yoma shraddhavan bhajate yomam same yuktatamo mataha. That person is the highest of the yogi. Many people may be doing community work, and after retiring, many people, they say they want to do the community work, they want to stand by the road and help children cross the road, and we don't want anything. Many people may be doing many things, the selfless action. Shri Krishna says, best of the selfless action, directing everything to the Lord. That person is the best. Yuktatamo mataha. Yukta, that person is the yukta yogi at the best. That person is the best. Shraddhavan bhajate. Bhajate means one who surrenders me. Slowly, in the Karma Yoga, I mentioned tach, Karma Yoga. Bhajate, last sloka, Shri Krishna added the word bhajate. Bhakti Yoga, he dropped a hint. The Karma Yoga with bhajate, he dropped the hint. One who does the selfless action, Shraddhavan with faith, one who surrenders to me, offers everything to me, is the best among the yogis. And Shri Krishna, here I mentioned the 6th chapter up to 6th chapter, Karma Yoga is in predominance. From here, Shri Krishna gave a link to Bhakti Yoga. He gave a link to Bhakti Yoga from the 7th. 7th chapter, we'll dive into the 7th chapter. From this class onwards, Shri bhagavan uvacha.
Shri bhagavan uvacha.
Mayyasakta-manah. Partha. Yogam. Yunjan. mad-ashrayah. Asanshayam. Samagram. Yatha. Jnasyasi. tat shhrunu
tach shhrinu.
Shri bhagavan uvacha
Shri bhagavan uvacha.
mayyasakta-manah partha
mayyasakta-manah partha.
yogam yunjan mad-ashrayah
yogam yunjan mad-ashrayah.
asanshayam samagram mam
asanshayam samagram
yatha jnasyasi chhrinu.
yatha jnasyasi chhrinu.
Shri Krishna says in the previous one, last shloka, Shraddhavan bhajate. You have to devote. To devote, what is the requirement for the devotion? What is the requirement for bhakti? Shri Krishna says, develop interest, develop a taste. If I am not at all interested in the topic, I won't I cannot develop devotion to that one. And people may ask you to come and sit and listen to the Bhagavad Gita. I have no reverence for Lord Shri Krishna. I have no reverence for Mahabharata. I have no reverence for the Veda Vyasa's composition. When I have no reverence for anything, how can I get devotion? Shri Krishna says, first quality, mayyasakta, develop interest towards me. Asakta, mayyasakta, asakta, when I can get devotion to me, you should start listening to the Lord. Greatness of the Lord, mahatmya jnana. Read the scriptures, listen to the great Mahatmas, expound on that one, contemplate on that one, read about the exploits of the Lord, and realize how insignificant you are. Nothing happens according to you. You plan so many things. Unless you plan, you may be doing everything. Unless you have a grace of the Lord, you know how insignificant you are. You may be, when the things may be happening to you, you may think, I am independent. When the tough time hits, you realize, I thought I am independent. I can't do anything unless I have His grace. I may try everything, but unless I have His grace, nothing happens. Shri Krishna says, mayyasakta. You develop devotion, develop taste for Him, and taste to know about Him, develop interest towards the Lord, develop interest towards the higher things. mayyasakta-manah partha. Mana, Shri Krishna says, mayyasakta, and asakta, develop interest towards me. Yogam yunjan mad-ashrayah. All yogas, all selfless action you are doing, and towards direct that one to me. Whatever you are doing in your life, yat karoshi, yadashnasi, yajjuhoshi, previously we touched upon, whatever you do, you offer it to the Lord. Yajjuhoshi dadasiyate. Yat tapashyasi kaunteya tad kurushva madarpanam. Shri Krishna in the earlier says, whatever you do, offer it to me. You do whatever yoga you are doing. You may be very good yoga expert. You may be good in bending, twisting, turning, and great asanas you can do. You can sit still for 1 hour, and you may be able to talk eloquently. Whatever you are doing, offer it to the Lord. Mad-ashrayah. Seek refuge in the Lord. Seek shelter in the Lord. He is the ultimate refuge for everyone. He is the ultimate refuge for everyone. Take shelter in Him. Undoubtfully, asanshayam samagram yatha jnasyasi tach. When you do this one, Shri Krishna says, the knowledge, Knowledge, you may have the knowledge. Whatever knowledge you have, you will be able to apply to your personalize the knowledge. In the second chapter, Shri Krishna talked about Sankhya Yoga, Jnana part. In the fourth chapter, he talked about Jnana. Here, Shri Krishna, this chapter is called as Jnana The knowledge what you have, knowledge itself is of no use. You should know how to apply that knowledge in your day-to-day life. Without its application, knowledge becomes a burden. When you are devoted, developed interest, the knowledge, whatever you have, you start knowing how to apply that one in my day-to-day life. Jnana-vijnanam. The knowledge must be translated into application. Without vijnana, jnana becomes a burden. Vijnana is the application side. Personal experience. I may be quoting so many things from the scriptures. I myself do not have any experience of that one. To impress people, I may be quoting. But if somebody asks, did you have that experience? I will be saying, sorry, I don't have any experience. I am good at memorizing. I am just quoting. Shri Krishna says, the knowledge, just knowledge itself becomes a burden. You should know how to apply. To apply the knowledge, application part is important. The two components, one is fundamental science and applied science are there. The fundamental science by itself is not great. When the fundamental science is combined with applied science, that so many people gets benefit out of that one. You will be able to serve the community better. You will be able to do the karma yoga with knowledge. Application, your action is backed with knowledge. Otherwise, knowledge without karma yoga is a burden. Shri Krishna says how to do the karma yoga. You should know the application part. Shri Krishna says for that one, you need the linchpin is called as bhakti. When you are devoted, the knowledge gets translated. It becomes an impetus behind your actions. Again, repeat after me. Shri bhagavan uvacha.
Shri bhagavan uvacha.
Mayyasakta-manah partha.
Mayyasakta-manah partha.
Yogam yunjan mad-ashrayah.
Yogam yunjan mad-ashrayah.
Asanshayam samagram mam.
Asanshayam samagram.
Yatha jnasyasi tach chhrinu.
Jnatavyam-avashishyate chhrinu.
Jnanam te aham. sa-vijnanam. idam vakshyamyasheshatah. jnatva neha jnatva na iha bhuyo bhuyan jnatavyam-avashishyate. jnanam teham sa-vijnanam. idam vakshyamyasheshatah. jnatva neha bhuyo nyaj. bhuya anyat. Bhuyo nyaj. Jnatva neha bhuyo nyaj. jnatavyam-avashishyate. Jnanam, I will talk about the knowledge. Te aham, jnanam te, I will talk about the knowledge. Te, to you, aham, sa-vijnana idam vakshyamyasheshatah. Along with sa-vijnana, I will talk about the knowledge along with its application part exhaustively. Knowledge earlier I talked about. Here I will talk about the how to translate knowledge into its application. I will talk about them application part exhaustively. Having known jnatva, having known them, neha bhuyo jnatavyam-avashishyate. When you know how to apply the application part of the knowledge, avashishyate, there is nothing more to be known for you. When you learn the art of its application, you know how to translate the scriptures, how to understand the shastras, how to understand the terse meaning, how to understand the formulas, how to understand the sutras, you know. When you understand this one, application part, how to convert knowledge into application, you will start understanding the sutras well. The terse messages, you start understanding it well. There is nothing more in your life to be known. Again, repeat these two slokas. Shri bhagavan uvacha.
Shri bhagavan uvacha.
Mayyasakta-manah partha.
Mayyasakta-manah partha.
Yogam yunjan mad-ashrayah.
Yogam yunjan mad-ashrayah.
Asanshayam samagram mam.
Asanshayam samagram.
Yatha jnasyasi tach chhrinu.
Yatha jnasyasi tach chhrinu.
Jnanam teham sa-vijnanam.
Jnanam teham sa-vijnanam.
vakshyamyasheshatah. Idam vakshyamyasheshatah.
idam vakshyamyasheshatah.
jnatva neha bhuyo
Yatva neha bhuyo nyaj.
jnatavyam-avashishyate.
jnatavyam-avashishyate.
manushyanam sahasreshu.
kashchid.
yatati siddhaye.
yatati
siddhanam kashchinma veti tatvatah. manushyanam sahasreshu. kashchid yatati siddhaye. yatataamapi siddhanam kashchinma veti tatvatah. Among thousands of people, most people, they are not interested in this science. Vijnana part or knowledge part, people are not interested. Other day, our Chaitanyaji, he went to India, he spoke about, he was saying, he talked about yoga to his friends in India and asked them to join. It seems they asked the question, what is wrong with you? Have you got any problem? Why you had to do yoga? Yoga is to be done only when you have problem or when you have nothing else to do after retiring. That is the comments we hear from many people, most people. Yoga is, if you have any problem, then do yoga. Or in the old age, if you have nothing else to do, do yoga. That is the comment. The Shri Krishna says, talks about that one here. Manushyanam sahasreshu. Among the thousands of people, perchance one may be interested in this dimension. Manushyanam sahasreshu. Kashchid. Perchance. Among the thousands, maybe one person is interested. Kaschinma yatati siddhaye. Yatati, among the thousands of millions of people, they are interested and they give it a go. And those who are giving it a go, yatataamapi siddhanam kaschinma, amongst the millions of people who are practicing. Amongst the millions, maybe one is interested. Among the thousands of people who are trying, they are interested. Amongst the millions of people who are trying, maybe one may will realize me in totality. Shri Krishna says, amongst the billions of people, maybe one or two will understand. Others, they are like a hobby, they keep on trying, getting the reality. It is not easy. In the Bhima Geeta, I talked about the reason for that one. And manushyanam sahasreshu. Thousands and millions are amongst them. Maybe one is interested in this one. Amongst the thousands who are trying, amongst the millions who are trying, maybe one will realize me in reality, in totality. Kashchinma veti tattvataha. Sadhana is not easy. Sadhana is not a casual approach. Shri Krishna says, for that one, mayyasakta-manah partha. Develop interest, develop taste for Lord. Our taste, we like my business, I like my property, I like my investment, I like my sports, I like dining out, I like so many things. Amongst so many things, I like Bhagavad Gita also. Among 100 interests, Bhagavad Gita, if I have nothing else to do, Bhagavad Gita I am interested. There is no mayyasakta. Shri Krishna says, you are not totally committed for me. You have to devote yourself fully. Have you developed that? Like Ramakrishna Paramahamsa says, the thirst for that one, like when you are dipping in the water, in the river, if you are going in and somebody holds you down under the water, you have become breathless, you are keen to get a fresh breath of air, you just want to come out. That type of intense longing we have to develop. That is what Shri Krishna says, mayyasakta. Develop taste. Develop taste for that one. Develop taste for me. Those who develop the taste, there are very few people, they develop this type of taste. Shri Krishna says, among the millions, maybe, perchance, millions trying, perchance one may realize me in essence. Shri Krishna, it starts off the qualities of a bhakti yoga. Bhakti is not just putting some makeup, some cosmetics, some tilaks, and pretend that I am a devotee. It is not just an outer makeup. Devotion is not an outer show. It is an intense longing. It's a devotion. It's not easy. People say the weak person, for the weak person, devotion is recommended. For the strong person, the jnana is recommended. Shri Krishna says, devotion is not easy. What you think? Devotion is not just going to a place of worship and putting some coins there and giving some scene in the temple all the time. That is not devotion. Shri Krishna says, bhakti is not easy. What you think? That intense longing. Shri Krishna slowly takes us deep into what bhakti means. What is then how jnana can be translated into its application part. Beautifully Shri Krishna opens that one in this chapter. Repeat these three shlokas. Shri bhagavan uvacha. Mayyasakta-manah partha. Yogam yunjan mad-ashrayah. Asanshayam samagram mam. Yatha jnasyasi chhrinu. Jnanam teham sa-vijnanam. Idam vakshyamyasheshatah. Jnatva neha bhuyo jnatavyam-avashishyate. Manushyanam sahasreshu. Kashchid yatati यततामपि सिद्धानां
यततामपि सिद्धानां
कश्चिन्मा वेति तत्त्वतः
कश्चिन्मान् वेति तत्त्वतः
वसुदेवसुतं देवं
वसुदेवसुतं देवं
कंसचाणूरमर्दनं
कंसचाणूरमर्दनं
देवकी परमानन्दं
देवकी परमानन्दं
कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं
कृष्णं